Hello makers, and welcome back to Mixed Media Masters. It's so nice to have you here. Now the holiday seasons are upon us once again, and it seems like a good time to talk about ways that you can make really fun and beautiful art gifts to share with your friends and family. And I want to show you three different ways we're going to create small art pieces that we can use for ornamentation as well as gifts that you might share with others. Now the first thing I want to share with you is just some of the different methodologies we have. And for example, one of the things I want to be tackling is working with a small magnetic frame. Now this is really just a flat magnet that would stick to your refrigerator or something else like that. So a big part of this is just finding a way to get some artwork that we can slide in here. Will be a nice framed piece of original art that you can work with. So let's talk a little bit about how we might do that. And again, when we talk about creating artwork, it's really up to us. So I have pre-cut some pieces of paper to the sizes that are going to best fit my needs for that frame. And it's now just a matter of really figuring out what I want to do with that. I'm thinking some holiday colors, something that might really help us to get into the holiday spirit. And a big part of this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to wet it, and I'm going to just go into my first piece of paper. I'll move these guys out of the way for now. Move in here. Let's just zoom, and let's get this not soaking wet, but wet enough, because one of the things I want to be able to do is take advantage of some of the principles of watercolor paint, which is the ability to come in here. Let me grab a red color here. And now if I come in here and kind of spread it around, it will move with the water that's on there. Now again, there's no right way to do anything we're doing here. What I'm thinking is kind of blotches of color. We'll do some red and some green, because that is a holiday sort of thing, isn't it? Let's get some green in here. Again, these watercolors need to be moistened up a little bit to make it work for what we're doing. I'll put the green kind of right in here like this. And then let's see what else we want to be able to put in here to kind of balance things off. And maybe some sort of a, we'll get a darker green. I think that green there is interesting, but it's almost a yellowish green. Let's do something, there we go. That looks more like perhaps a holiday green, an evergreen. And again, what I'm trying to do here is just use the colors to my advantage. I'm trying to create blocks of color that I think will be interesting and mixed together. One of the things that I've also discovered that really pulls these things together is, as you are finishing things up, to get some black in here and to be able to run some black lines. Just something that helps divide things up. There's no right answer here as well, but it's an opportunity for us to be able to create some interesting pieces. Now again, one of the nice things about creating lots and lots of little pieces like this is that it doesn't take a long time. As you can see, that took just a moment, but being able to come in and create a whole bunch of them, it means that some of them may not turn out to be something you like. And so it gives you an opportunity to mix and match as you go through. So let me just get another one up here. We'll get that one wet as well, and maybe not as wet as the last one. And we'll just kind of spread our moisture around. And again, let me come in here and let me get, that's our black. Let's start with, we'll start with kind of an autumnal brownish color here. This is probably a little bit more earthy tone. Not exactly the holiday thing, but again, if I can come in here and, I can also, not that I want to make it look like anything, but there's nothing to say I can't, I don't know, maybe a holiday tree of some sort. Put that in there like that, and maybe we'll have more of the foundations of a holiday tree. So, and let's see how we're going to, maybe we start doing a little bit of decorating. We'll pick up a little bit of that red, and, little baubles. Something on there are not tree. This is not a tree. This is an abstract painting. You know that. And maybe we can also put, I don't know, another color in there that might work for our festival lights here. Let's come in here and grab that, and again, kind of a blue and a blue and a blue and a blue. There we go. That looks kind of like something, doesn't it? And again, it depends on what you want to be able to do. It's up to you. If you want to be able to share something that looks more like something, like a holiday tree, or even a lovely scene. Let's make ourselves a scene. One of the easiest ways to make a scene is to start with your sky. And so, all right, let's grab some sky up here. Maybe kind of blend it in with this a little bit. And again, let me get this wet. It's going to make things a little easier for us. There we go. Good stuff. And now let's come in here and let's hit it up with a little bit of sky up there. Nice, nice. And then you know what? Maybe we have some mountains that are taking place underneath our sky. So if I come in here and just kind of, you know, bring some mountains in here. And those are the mountains in the background. The foreground mountains are going to be a little bit brighter because that's what happens as we'll get in here. Let's see. Okay. And maybe even there's a river. A river runs through it. So we could come in here and we could say, oh, not getting enough blue yet. Give myself some time to pick it up. All right, bring that, and then maybe we have some sort of grass color towards the horizon. And we can do something like that. And you know what? While we're here, let's make it a sunny day, because it's always nice when it's a beautiful sunny day. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow in here. Let's just put that. There we go. Yeah, the sun's out. Maybe get a little bit of orange in there just to make it a little sweeter. Make it a little brighter. There we go. And again, you know, a black line can really help to set kind of a foundation. And you know, it's part of the earth, right? That's a color we see quite often here. All right. Now the bottom line is that what you paint is really up to you. And again, you know, my approach would be to try to create something that has meaning to me. I like to be able to use colors as well. I created a few other pieces prior, you know, for example, just being able to create something that's got a lot of colors in it, kind of fun. It's entirely up to you. There's no right answer, which is one of the things we say on this channel all the time, is that there's no right answer. But let's let these dry, and we'll move to another methodology, and I'll show you what we can do with that as well. Now, one of my favorite medium is being able to work with pastels. And I have here an interesting, just a basic collection of some basic colors. You can get these very, you know, very advanced and ornate. But one of the things I like about working with pastels is, first of all, it's really quick business to be able to create some interesting abstract art. So if I take this, this purple piece and just kind of run it down here, again, I can kind of just run this up and down the paper a little bit to get darkness if I want. I'll get some purple on this side. And let's say we're going to take an orange, and then we'll run the orange on this side, in this corner like this. That's kind of cool. All right, and what are we going to put above that? I have a little bit of blue that I'll put in this space right here. It can be very kind of cubist about it, right? Kind of from a modern art standpoint. Just come in here and create a few blocks. And let's finish it off with some yellow in here. Okay, and we'll do that. Now, the thing also about working with pastels is sometimes you need to tap them off. And it depends on how rough the paper is and what we do with it. Again, another thing that's really kind of fun here is if you do take your black pastel and just put some fine lines in there. It doesn't have to be too dramatic, but something that allows you to separate your different colors, if you want, to kind of just create some demarcation there. All right? Now, again, that took us a moment to make, but it's kind of an interesting piece, again, from an abstract art standpoint. So you could do a lot with that. And again, the thing I like working with pastels, apart from the fingerprints that you're going to leave on absolutely everything, is that it's an opportunity, again, for you to do whatever you think is going to be kind of fun here. And if I come in here and let me lay down kind of a darker background. Again, the black is kind of a good place to start. We come in here and lay down a black background. And that means that we can probably put some brighter colors on top of that. And I'm thinking, you know, let's do like a mini Mark Rothko. Yeah, there's nothing to say we can't come in here and create some sort of a blue square like that. That looks kind of nice. And let's take the red and we'll do the same thing down here. Again, sometimes you want to size things properly. So we'll kind of just get a sense of how this is going to work if we just put it in there like that. Create some little demarcation between the top and the bottom. And we can actually, with the pastels, we can fill in all the holes, all those places in the paper where we have texture. We can come in here, we can make sure we kind of cover all those up. Again, let me tap that off. But there we go, kind of a mini Rothko style effect if we want. Kind of cool. And again, there's no right answer to be able to do this. Another thing you can do, of course, is just, you know, make it kind of interesting. I can come in here and let's do kind of a divide up, right? Depending on what we do, and then it's an opportunity of coming in and saying, all right, let's put some blue kind of on this area here. Maybe there's blue down here as well. There we go. Got a little green in here. We get some green coming in at the bottom. Okay, it's kind of nice. I'm thinking I want some focus, we'll get some purple in here. Maybe, well, the green and the purple, by the way, they always really go well together. They look like friends when we're working with them together. That's nice. Let me get some, you see my fingerprints here. That's just part of the art right there. Part of the art. And we'll come up in here. Okay. And let's get some orange in here. Again, I like a good polychromatic approach, which, again, about 70% of the colors found in the spectrum can be found in this piece of artwork. And we can go over things we want. I want to leave the inside here kind of a bright yellow. I think it just allows us to just have a focal point within our artwork. Is there anything else I want to be able to do up in here? You know what, let me get some more purple in here. I can do that and use that to fill my fingerprints in a little bit. Okay, and again, there's no right answer on any of this. I'll tap that one off as well. But, you know, an opportunity to come in and, you know, add additional colors. I've got a little bit of a green, maybe we'll kind of drop it in here like this, and it just creates a much more robust look between the different colors. Kind of do that with the, you know, put one color over another color. I have kind of a peach color here. Let's see what happens when we kind of throw that on top of the orange. It mellows it out a little bit, you see? And there's nothing wrong with doing any of this. Now, I will say that one of the things about working with pastels is that things do get dusty. And so there are spray fixatives that you can put in this to basically seal the pastel in so it doesn't get all over everything. Because again, if people are handling this, it's going to get a little bit messy. All right. Now those are 2 of our 3 methods. Let's take a look at the next. If you've been watching my channel for any period of time, you know that one of my first loves is cut paper collage. I love the way we can take bright colors and shapes and combine them together to make really interesting abstract pieces. But you may not know that one of my inspirations for these projects is a visit to the big box hardware stores, because you know what they have there? They have color swatches. Now, I'm not saying go and be obnoxious and steal all the color swatches. I am saying there's a great source of colors and things you might want to be able to use for different projects that are right here. Now, I guess when we're talking about small art like we are right now, there's a real opportunity for us to come in and create some cool things. So let's take a look at some things we might do here. And I got even 3 different types of purples in here. That might be kind of fun to do. And again, working with a pair of scissors, we want to create shapes, or my rotary cutter if I want to do some straight lines. Now in this case, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come in here and kind of do an abstract organic shape of sorts using this color of purple. I'll just go up here and let's loop down here. And again, we're just kind of creating an amorphous lump, as it were. So, here we go. And then an opportunity, again, it looks really good against that background there. And one of the things I think would really go well with that purple, obviously, as a complementary color, is this yellow-orange. And what I'm thinking is maybe just kind of put a roundish area right in there, and something that will really just pop and make these 2 pieces work beautifully together. And again, I want to just point out this doesn't have to be crazy complicated. That's one of the nice things. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kind of just make this a little bit more oblong. How about that? Make it a little bit more oblong so that it will fit, and these 2 pieces will marry together like that. How's that? Pretty cool, right? Now again, what we do with this or how we approach this could be different. What I might also do, it's a little subtle, but oh, this would go well. Again, green and purple go really well together. I'm just going to make a dot. I'm going to come in here. Again, using this as a color source. These are nice, smooth colors. Really, really fun to work with. And let's come in here and let's see if this will, maybe down here. Kind of looks like it works right in there. And again, we could approach this. I don't want to over decorate, but maybe we put another shape up here as well to offset it. Let's see if there's another color that we can do. We have another style of green. I'm going to give it a try. The thing that's nice about working with cut paper for me is its forgiveness, because I'm just going to dry fit pieces together. I'm going to say I think this will work fine. Again, I'm creating kind of more of an organic shape like that. And you know, it seems to me that they need something to kind of tie them together there. And one of the approaches you can also take is overlap. Maybe we bring this in like that, and we work with it. So we can play around. We can say, hey, does this look the way I want it to look? As we pull that together, I think a little bit of red is going to be needed in here. I have a little bit of red right here. And so an opportunity to, you know what I'm going to do? Again, it may overcomplicate things, in which case I can always back off. But I'm going to see about what happens if I take a little piece of red and I put it inside my orange. Maybe offset it a little bit like that to give it a little bit, I don't know, just more character. Just more character in there. And I'm gonna try something equally weird in the other places here. We'll just get a blob of this green here. It's a little bit lighter. Okay, just getting a small circle. See what happens if we put it in there like that. And what happens if we do the same thing in this other green one. We can match a little bit more closely, but there we go. It's a little bit different. And again, the beautiful thing about this is I can create all sorts of shapes, fit them together. I can say I like that, I think that works, or it doesn't work. It's really up to me. I think this would work for what I need to do mostly, so this is when I would reach for my glue stick and say, all right, let's get some glue on that. And again, we kind of have to do things backward here. So what I might do is put this this piece in first. And I can tell which is the right side because one side is actually colored and the other side is not. Okay, I'm going to put that in there. And I've got a little bit of glue on here. It's going to dry transparent, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time really worrying about it. Let's get this this red piece in here, like this. I think it looks, maybe it looks better there. It looks a little better, a little offset. And let me do the same thing with this purple piece. Alright, and let's get these, maybe I put it at an angle. I think it looks better at an angle. There we go, that's kind of cool. And then it's a matter of just getting our green blobs into place. And maybe, just maybe, I'll offset that one a little bit there. Okay, that may work. And let's get a piece on top of it. I'll put that there like that. And I'll get this this blob in here. I don't think I like the other green on top of this blob, to be honest. So I'm going to put that there, but I'm going to get a slightly different color. And again, I don't know. I may have to run back off to the hardware store for some more supplies. Like I said, you know, be cool. It's okay to have a few. Don't raid the place. That's not what it was designed for, obviously. And I don't want them getting unhappy with you. All right. Now again, there's nothing to prevent me from coming in here and creating a colored background. I can even put some sort of a watercolor wash in here if it would bring this to life. Again, I kind of like the starkness of it, and sometimes I also play around with, you know, what's the best angle for representing this art. I think that works out there really well. So again, that is a cut paper approach and how we can create some abstract art to go into our frames doing that. So let's give things a few more minutes to dry, and then we will put them into our frames and see how they look. Welcome back. So I've already set up a few of my frames. As you can see here, we've got some artwork that's now been bordered. And again, this process is very simple. By the way, I'm going to share all the materials we used in this project in the description below, so you'll be able to find this. But again, these magnetic frames, they just open up like this. And it's just a matter of taking our artwork and sliding it in. Hopefully this is dry enough to do what I want. Sometimes if you bend the frame a little bit, it will make things a little bit easier to get things tucked in there and readjusted. We can open up at the other end and get a finger in there if we need to kind of move things around. But there we go. We got our little scene in a frame. You know, maybe I put a signature on there. Now here's the cool thing. These are magnetic, so what can we do with them? Well, you can stick them to your refrigerator. You can stick them to a bridge. You can stick them to somebody's car. But an opportunity to share your artwork, depending what your needs and desires are, by just putting them on a steel area. Again, you know, well, maybe a little artistic vandalism. I'm not, you know, we've already raided the big box store today. Why not go out and just plaster the world with your original art pieces by sticking them on things where, you know, they could be appreciated by other people. Anyway, this is what we wanted to share today. 3 different ways to create these different artworks that we can use for the purposes of being able to design some interesting gifts that you can share with others, and maybe just to use to amuse yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Going out and creating art for art's sake, big fan of that. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you like what we did here, by the way, we do something every single week, and would invite you to join our growing family. So please feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. And we drop a new video every Friday, and we'd love to be able to share more with you. Now, next week we have a similar type of project. We're going to make some holiday ornament art. That's right, we're going to create things that you can hang on a tree or a bush or around the house, or share with your friends and family. Maybe put them on gifts, whatever you want to be able to do. Some original touches of your art, and we'll talk about that next week. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for dropping by. I'm Spider, and I'll see you next time.